mercy, this is gonna be a crazy day. What's up, everybody? It's your boy Bernell Jones II, and I'm back with another episode of what it's like being a musician in New York City. And to be honest, it's hectic. And I don't have much time to speak because I have to rush and I have a pretty busy day today. But let me start it off with, I'm playing at one of the most prestigious jazz clubs, and I wouldn't even call it jazz club because they have all types of great music in New York City, called the Blue Note. And I know you've probably heard of it, especially if you like watching content related to what I do or just my content. And I get to play there on my second time with the wonderful pianist Julius Rodriguez. If you've seen some of my previous videos, you've seen, I think, if I'm not mistaken, it might be episode 2 of what it's like being a musician in New York City. I played with him at New Blue at the Winter Jazz Fest. Well, now we're playing at the Blue Note Jazz Fest. It is about 8:50 in the morning, and the reason why I have to rush now is because we have to go to Sirius XM this morning and record some of his songs for Sirius XM. And I need to leave in like probably 20 minutes or so. And so I need to quickly pick me out an outfit and get up out of here. I'm not really gonna say much, except for I am going back to the Q&As at the end of the video. And I've received so many Q&As from you all since the past what it's like being a musician in New York City video. And if you would like to submit a Q&A for the next video to where I could answer any question that you have about me or what I do, just send me a DM at either one of my Instagram accounts and start it off with Q&A and then follow with a question. Well, time to get ready to start this day. And I really look forward to it because you know what? Playing at the Blue Note is fun, and playing for a large audience and a very just wonderful venue always makes me feel good. So let's get right to this day. With no further ado, I'm Bernell Jones. Oh, by the way, I just want to warn you all real quick. I don't really know the vibe at Sirius XM, but just out of respect and courtesy, I'm not going to be filming the whole process when I get to see it, Sirius XM. Like, you're going to see me walk in and, you know, you're going to see a view of the studio, but I'm not going to film me while I'm playing or anything because I just don't think that's a good idea. But you're definitely going to see a lot of footage from the Blue Note regardless. So let me go ahead and get dressed and then head to Sirius XM. All right, we got a little calm drip today. We're saving the extreme drip for the Blue Note tonight. So today, unlike in the other videos, you're going to see 2 outfits instead of just 1. All right, let's get to Sirius XM. Now, this ain't my first time playing on the radio, but this is definitely my first time playing on a major radio. I actually don't really understand exactly what this is, but I'll find out in a second because we're coming up on it. Here we are.
We got a control room next door where you guys can crash out.
Oh, that's nice.
Happy to do the interview at the end of the performance.
All right, I'm looking forward to this recording. It's gonna be a good day today. There's your boy Julius. You dig?
Location they moved.
Yeah, we're gonna start soon. P. Marriott. All right, that was a joyous time. I didn't like my playing as much, but we go through those days sometimes. I just gotta recognize that it still probably sounded good. We out of here. All right, fast forward to later. I'm about to head out and then go to the sound check. And I decided that I'm just gonna bring my fit with me because, I mean, the sound check is still, it's still the middle of the day right now, you feel me? And so I'm gonna do a sound check and then we have a good amount of time until the actual show starts. So I'm gonna just change there, get the sound check over with. We out of here. Getting out of the car. It took me a long time to find parking. I gotta stop driving. The best part about the green room is that we can go out here on the roof and overlook all y'all. There's nothing really special about it, but it's just fun if you got nothing else to do. There's a lot of downtime. A lot of times with these type of big events, especially at spots like the Blue Note, you have an early sound check and you got a couple hours until the show actually starts. So I'm gonna just take a walk. I wasn't doing this series last year, but I played at the Blue Note a year ago. It was literally, I think, almost exactly a year ago that I was playing here. Yeah, the sound check was going crazy, and we're about to get ready to play. Empty Blue Note.
Please welcome back to the Blue Note stage, Julius Rodriguez.
Hey, you. Are you tired of the mainstream sounds and songs that everybody seems to be releasing right now? Well, guess what? My debut album, Typewriter, is here to save the day. I channeled my professional saxophone playing, my songwriting ability, and my expertise on multiple different instruments to bring you a genre-fluid listening experience that can relate to all people. My debut album, Typewriter, which on some of the songs features the wonderful voice of Jasmine James, contains music from different types of jazz fusion, R&B, neo-soul, and a whole lot of funk. On July 2nd, 2024, it will be available on all streaming platforms. And if you want to order the limited edition vinyls that I pressed just for you, you can go to bandcamp.com and order as many as you like. So make sure you sprint over to my Spotify, my Bandcamp, and my Instagram and check out my debut album, Typewriter, now.
All right, everybody, now to answer your Q&As. But before I get to that, I just want to let you know that today I surprise released a single, and it's called Fast-ish. You can find it on all platforms. Go listen to it. It's going to be on my new album, which releases this coming Tuesday, and I'm just giving you a little teaser of the album. And also, before I get to the questions, I just want to say it was very enjoyable playing at the Blue Note again, and also doing Sirius XM. I didn't even know we'd be playing Sirius XM. It was kind of a last-minute thing. But, you know, all of this is relating to Julius's Evergreen album that just dropped. So if you also want to go listen to Julius's Evergreen album, it's a really good album. I put a link in the description below. All right, let's get right to the Q&A. First question, you ever feel nervous when playing anymore? If so, what do you do to help prevent the nervousness? Actually, I don't get nervous playing anymore, except for there are specific occasions when I do get nervous, and that's when I'm doing something really big or doing something that I haven't done before. So, for example, I will say I was a little bit nervous at the SiriusXM thing just because I haven't played on a radio station so big like that before. And so I was a little nervous. And I'd say the other times I get nervous is if I get thrown onto a gig last minute. And because I got thrown onto the gig last minute, I don't know the music that well, because I hold myself up to a high standard and high expectations. So I have to know the music inside out, or I have to at least have a really good idea of what we're doing. And if I don't know what's going on with the music, I'll get nervous, because what happens is, you make a big mistake, and then people even in the band look at you crazy as if they forgot that they booked you last minute. You know what I'm saying? But other than that, I don't get nervous. Like when I was playing the Blue Note, wasn't nervous. When I was playing at Smalls, wasn't nervous. And that's only just because I've played a lot. I mean, I play for a living now. And so the reason why I have this series is because I'm able to, fortunately, I'm able to gig every week. And because I gig multiple days every week, it just becomes part of what I do. People always ask me, how do I not get nervous? I don't think there's a way to force yourself to not get nervous. Really, you just have to have more experience. Next question. What are your favorite jazz albums? Much love from Wisconsin. Shouts out to Wisconsin. All right, I'm going to show you real quick. So I'm a record junkie. I collect records. This is my all-time favorite jazz album. It's Skydive by Freddie Hubbard. People who are into Freddie Hubbard, if you don't know, which you should, Freddie Hubbard is one of the best jazz trumpeters to ever grace this planet. And people don't talk about this album that much. This album is amazing. It has Hubert Laws on it. It has George Benson, Keith Jarrett. I think Billy Cobham. Yes, Billy Cobham on drums. It has all amazing arrangements, amazing songs. People don't talk about this album, and it's crazy because this is an amazing album. My next favorite album, this is a little bit more known by jazz lovers. It's Miles Davis in Europe. Just all around a great album. I mean, when I was coming up on saxophone, I tried to learn every single one of George Coleman's solos on here, because George Coleman is one of my favorite saxophone players, and he's also from Memphis, just like me. And so, you know what I'm saying? When I was really trying to get my sound on tenor, I was taking all the solos from this and learning it by ear. Charlie Parker with Strings is a real classic. You can't go wrong with this album. Now, this is an original, very hard to find. This is back before vinyls. For those of y'all who don't know much about recorded music history, before we had vinyls, we had 78 RPM records that were made on a glassy shellac record, right? And so if you drop these records, they actually shatter, they break, and you can't do anything about it. And courtesy of my boy David Zavracki, shouts out to him, wonderful saxophonist, and he collects phonographs. I bought a phonograph from him 5 years ago, and he gave it to me at a really good price. And so I actually have a machine that's capable of playing these. You cannot play these on a regular turntable unless your turntable has a 78 RPM setting. Nope, you have to play it on a phonograph that you crank up. So, great album by Charlie Parker with Strings. I'd say my last favorite jazz album, and I wouldn't really call this jazz, it's definitely jazz influenced, and it's by Braxton Cook. It is the Fire Sign album. Now, Braxton Cook is a jazz musician, but he's also, I'd say, an R&B and soul singer and musician too. I don't like putting people, especially me, in the box of being just a jazz musician. When you listen to that record, you're not gonna hear a bunch of ting 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 ting. You're not gonna hear all that, bebop stuff. It's more just feel good music. And honestly, when he dropped that, I think he dropped it at the beginning of the pandemic. That whole album got me through the pandemic. I mean, I was playing that album every single day. So shouts out to Braxton Cook. Next question. What makes a good drummer in your opinion? What qualities do you look for in a drummer? Definitely ask it for a friend. Hey, look, straight up, what I look for in a drummer is somebody who's hip and somebody who's played in the black church growing up, or who has that type of chops or that type of feel. And that's just because, musicians who grew up in the church, and specifically the black church, they play a certain way. And as far as my band, the music that I write is geared toward that type of playing, that type of groove. So, I mean, that's why, the current person who plays drums in my band, Josh Green, shouts out to him. That's why he's in my band, because he's hip and he has that foundation in his playing. He has that really kind of gospel-like groove. And I wouldn't say my music, if you've heard it and if you listen to this album coming out Tuesday, I wouldn't say the music sounds gospel-y, but it has those roots. And, as far as the hip part that I mentioned, when we last played our concert, I don't know if y'all know the Jersey Club beat, or if you're familiar with the Jersey Club beat, but it's become a popular beat lately in New York and New Jersey, and just kind of in pop anyway. and we were just playing one of the songs, and then Josh breaks into that Jersey Club beat, and it sounds great. That wasn't planned. He just did that, right? So he adds these really cool things that I don't even think of. I'm like, dang, how did you do that? Last question. 1, do you give saxophone lessons? No. I will make an announcement though. When people always ask me for lessons, I tell them that if I decide to start giving lessons, I will make an announcement on my social media and on my YouTube that, you know, my studio is open for lessons. But truthfully, with the gigs that I have and with now this content creation stuff and all this other music stuff I got going on, I just don't have time to give lessons, unfortunately.
If someone specifically a saxophonist band leader is trying to break into the scene in New York City, what are some tips you can give, and what venues do you suggest booking at? Hello, Brunel. Hi, my name is Mary, and I want to say I love your content on YouTube, and this is so inspiring and heartwarming to see your journey in New York City. Blessings to you. Thank you in advance.
Thank you. Whenever y'all say these kind words, that means a lot. Now, to your question, I think not just New York City. This applies to any big city where there's a music scene. You have to be aggressive and you have to hustle. You know, I said this before in a previous video. No one's going to just give you gigs. You have to go to, I would go to venues. I would hit up people about, like, you need to book my band, and send them recordings too. Unfortunately, not always. Venues don't always respond, which is annoying, but I think they're more likely to respond when you actually send them recordings and you send them history of things that you've done. I'd say if you do jazz, hit up the popular jazz venues in New York City. Not even just the popular ones. There are so many, right? And like I said, send recordings, all that stuff. And that's all I have. Links in the description. If you want to buy my vinyls, I have vinyls available. And links in the description if you want to listen to any of my other music. My album does come out Tuesday. And I wish y'all the best. Until the next episode, peace.